Hey, I'm Adam Jusko, and this is Adam Answers, where we answer the burning and not so burning questions of the day. In this video, how does unemployment get paid out? How does it go from the unemployment office into your pocket? That's what we're going to answer, but before we do, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So if you have applied for unemployment for the first time, it may be a little confusing. It may be a little confusing in many different aspects, but in this particular video, we're going to tackle the aspect of how you actually get paid. How does that money end up in your account or in your hands? Now, every state runs their unemployment offices a little bit differently. There is not a national unemployment standard that all these states have to adhere to, so it can be a little different from state to state. So you still will want to go onto your state's website or call them up if you have very specific questions. But they run in a fairly similar pattern, so the answers that I give you in this video are probably going to cover your state, or at least 85% of what is correct in your state, and then you can obviously look to get the other details if you have more questions. So almost every state in the country has two options for how they might pay you. You could get paid by direct deposit, or you could get paid on a debit card that gets sent to you in the mail that you can then make purchases from. Hardly any states anymore will send out paper checks. Now, for many people, what is probably the most desirable and the easiest to understand is direct deposit. If you have a bank account, you give them your bank account information and they just deposit your unemployment checks directly into your bank account, so you never have to touch that money and you don't have to do anything to get it in terms of going to the bank with a check or anything of that nature. However, not every state offers direct deposit, or some states may not offer direct deposit in certain situations. Now, if you don't have a bank account, or if for whatever reason your state is not giving unemployment benefits via direct deposit, then what you're going to have instead in almost every case is a debit card sent out to you that your unemployment benefits are going to go onto, and you'll be able to make purchases via that debit card, usually a Visa or a MasterCard. So the way that works is when you apply for unemployment, they're going to send a card out to you. Usually when that card comes to you, it is not going to have any of the benefits on it yet, because there's a lag time between when you apply for unemployment and when you actually get any money in your hands. And depending on the state and depending on the circumstances, that lag time can be fairly significant. So you might have the card in your hand before you actually have any money on the card. But once your claim has been approved, the money is going to go onto that card, and then you can use it anywhere that either MasterCard or Visa, whichever kind of debit card it is, wherever those are accepted, you can use it. And then you can also go to ATMs and take actual cash out if you want cash to use at other places, or at retailers when you make a purchase you can ask for extra cash. So you're getting the debit card, but you also have the option to be able to get cash out of it to be able to use cash. So you're not really restricted in any way. The only time you're going to get charged off of that debit card, at least probably for most people, the only time you're going to get charged is if you go to an ATM that is outside of the network that has been established for that card. So these unemployment cards are run usually through an agreement from the state and a major bank. Three of the ones that are well-known: U.S. Bank does it, Bank of America, Key Bank are probably the three big ones in terms of having contracts with the different states, and so they're each going to have their own rules in terms of what ATMs you can use without a fee, and if you go outside of their networks, then they would charge you. And once you have one of those debit cards in your hands, once money starts going onto that card, the way you're going to get any customer service is actually through the bank that is providing that debit card to you. So if there's a problem with the debit card itself, you would contact whatever that bank is: U.S. Bank, Bank of America, Key Bank, whoever it is that issued that card. So the process of unemployment can be kind of a pain. It can be kind of confusing, but in terms of actually getting paid, actually getting the money in your hands, for the most part, that is fairly easy to understand. How long it's going to take before that money shows up in your hands is where things are often more complicated. But that's it for this video. If you have other questions or comments or suggestions, put them in the comments section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.